Talk about a bad beat right out of the gate. Our main man just logged into another world only to find a god literally kneeling and begging for forgiveness. Apparently, this deity accidentally ended his life subscription. To make up for that massive skill issue, the god is Ice Guy ing him to a new realm. You'd think he'd become a high-rolling CEO with a massive harem, right? Wrong. The moment he lands, he's handed 2 toddlers. Turns out, he's been drafted as a full-time stay-at-home dad in a foreign land. Our protagonist is Takumi. After being sent to the lobby by that certified bruh god, the wind god Silfriel, Takumi got a serious body buff as a consolation prize. He's been dropped into a world managed by Silfriel himself. He hasn't even been on the ground for 5 minutes, but Takumi is already out here flexing his new skills. He just made a red wolf log out of life. But the second he turns around, he spots a pair of fraternal twins just staring him down. These 2 kids look absolutely homeless and tragic in the middle of the woods. Their stomachs are literally protesting for food at max volume. Takumi quickly raids his inventory for 2 homegrown peaches to stop the hunger strike. After that, he gives the little ones a fresh fit with some new clothes. He tries to get their names, but realizes these 2 are currently glitching in the language department. So, he decides to place an order on some new names. The boy is Allen, and the girl is Elena. Realizing the forest is high-key dangerous, he decides to help them log out of the woods. Too bad 2 wild boars immediately show up to start some drama. This place is a total dump that no one would ever visit. Takumi never expected he'd be relying on 2 toddlers to carry the team out of the forest. When they vibe check at the city gates, the guards are shook to hear they came from the Great Forest. That territory is usually reserved for top-tier high-rank adventurers. Takumi realizes things are getting a bit too loud, so he pivots and says they were just picking herbs on the outskirts. Once inside, he heads straight to the church to video call the statue of Silfriel. He reports his found items and bluffs about sending the kids away. Silfriel immediately panics like he's caught in 4K. That's when Takumi confirms the god definitely set this up. But Silfriel is stuck on a loading screen and won't reveal their true identity. Takumi can only guess these 2 have some serious internal connections with another deity. Truth is, Takumi has zero plans to ditch the kids, he was just acting to bait the truth out of that god. After securing the bag on a room, the twins start jumping on the inn's bed like they're at a concert. The next morning, they even learn to say good morning, which has Takumi's heart melting. He hauls them both to the Adventurers Guild to get their professional birth certificates. During registration, the receptionist is glitching for 5 seconds because the whole situation is so surreal. Later, while on a rookie quest, some slimes get cooked by the kids. Their herb gathering speed is so cracked he can barely keep up, they have a mountain of loot in no time. But when they return to turn in the task, a bald dude shows up to be a hater. He yells that this isn't a daycare and tells the kids to beat it. The twins are shook, but the moment the guy tries to get physical, they team up for a knight's double kick. That kick almost sent him to the lobby to meet his ancestors. Takumi has to yell at them to pause for 2 seconds. The result, the twins start crying hard enough to flood the building. Great, now I have to find a new way to entertain them. It turns out the kids were just terrified Takumi would unfriend them. He quickly assures them he's never going to ghost them. Later, he tells the red-haired knight captain about finding the kids in the forest. The captain reveals that a slave convoy recently got wiped near the woods. It's likely the kids were left behind as bait for monsters. This conspiracy theory makes Takumi even more determined to adopt these 2. Turns out, the captain is looking for the guildmaster to discuss an expedition to clear out some monsters. Seeing Takumi treat the Great Forest like a casual walk in the park, the captain invites him to join the team immediately. Just like that, Takumi officially starts his life as a BIM-SUA adventurer dad. The receptionist suggests they check in at a small dungeon to see how they handle it. So, Takumi leads the kids on a raid thanks to the twins' top-tier intuition. They never have to worry about being lost in the sauce. When they're hungry, they use magic to cook, when they're tired, they chill inside a barrier. Throughout the trip, the kids' hacked senses have Takumi absolutely floored. They're always the ones to spot the enemy first. It's a good thing this power didn't fall into a villain's hands, or we'd be cooked. Finally, they reach the boss room on the 15th floor. The door locks the second they step in. Facing a giant worm, Takumi uses Windblade to verify the receipts on its defense. After dodging a counter, he uses an air bullet to keep the monster glitching. Finally, he ends it with a wind sword strike. Turns out the buff Silfriel gave him is actually top tier. However, the moment they exit the dungeon, they run into a massive white wolf. Weirdly enough, it's as chill as a house pet, and the kids aren't even on guard. A vibe check reveals this is an S-rank magic beast, Fenrir. Even crazier, it's Takumi's contract beast now. Looks like another massive drop from Silfriel. To avoid scaring the locals, he tells the big boss to hide in his shadow. Back in town, Takumi rushes to find Silfriel to demand an explanation. Turns out, this was a thank you gift from the water god. Since the kids are water attuned, Takumi figures he's just getting the perks of being their dad, but Fenrir was just the appetizer. The next day, the gods ship over a cool flying tiger and a thunder eagle that controls electricity. He's about 2 beasts away from starting a circus in this other world. To manage these roommates, Takumi puts transformation collars on them. In a flash, they turn into a cute puppy and kitten. The kids want matching jewelry too, so Takumi gives them magic necklaces. They have GPS tracking and a massive inventory built in. Truly the ultimate parenting items. Later, the red-haired captain's knights are geared up and ready to move. The vice-captain is shook seeing such tiny adventurers joining the squad. As the carriages enter the forest, the captain splits the lobby into 3 teams. One team leader is an A-rank adventurer. They hadn't even gone a short distance yet. Allen suddenly spots the direction of some monsters. But the teammates' detection magic is still totally offline. It's not until the monsters are 100 meters away that their crystals finally ping red. Turns out Allen's range is completely out of bounds compared to normal magic. When a pack of red wolves spawns from the bushes, everyone is on edge. Everyone except the twins, who are having the time of their lives. They charge in and clap the opposition instantly, making the knights look like NPCs. Takumi quickly tells them, "Great job, kids, but let's not go full goblin mode." The captain is high-key salty, looking to settle the score with Takumi for hiding such cracked firepower. The vice-captain whispers to the kids that if the captain tries to flex on them again, they should just kick him into orbit. Suddenly, Takumi feels an incredibly toxic vibe. The next second, a demon snake launches a surprise attack. In a blink, it has several members clapped on the ground. Takumi quickly activates his wind shield and wind cutter skills. But this snake's movement is unreal, every shot misses. That's when everyone realizes the final boss causing all the trouble is this snake. Seeing it about to finish off a wounded teammate, Takumi manipulates the wind to chop down trees as a defensive barrier. While the whole team is stuck, the kids somehow reach the peak and climb onto the snake's back. Takumi sees his opening and tosses a knife no cap right into its eye. The snake goes berserk and flings the twins away. Seeing his kids hit the dirt, Takumi officially goes full tilt. Takumi begins channeling massive amounts of mana into his palms. He unleashes a devastating tornado attack. The power of this move is absolutely cracked, grinding the demon snake into dust in a single beat. After the dust settles, Takumi rushes over to his kids to verify the receipts. Turns out, the 2 little ones are just chilling as if nothing happened. Meanwhile, Takumi pinpoints the source of that toxic energy from earlier. It's a cloaked member of the team. He demands to know why they're trying to start drama. The guy starts screaming in pure salt, confessing he's been crushing on the red-haired captain for 3 years. He couldn't stand seeing the captain give Takumi so much attention. Takumi is officially speechless. Imagine getting caught in the middle of a jealous lover's revenge plot. Time to head back to the Adventurers Guild. The receptionist leads Takumi to the office for a little chat. As it turns out, the guildmaster received a classified report and decided to top-tier buff his rank straight to a rank. This has to be the fastest speed run to the top of the server's leaderboards in history. But here's the catch: if the kids stay at F rank, it'll drag down the whole team's average. After some negotiating, the guild decides to buff the twins to D rank so the squad can start taking on B rank contracts. With business settled, Takumi heads back to the inn to log out and recharge. Having the kids by his side makes him sleep like a baby. The next morning, he kicks off Citizen Education 101. He pulls out some cash every day to teach them basic math so they can understand the world. Using grocery shopping as practice, the kids' brains start crunching numbers faster than a high-end calculator. While out in the city, the 2 little angels pay for their items with pinpoint accuracy, truly elite child energy. Afterward, Takumi hits up the bookstore to brush up on his newly mastered water magic. He takes the opportunity to help the kids upgrade their literacy too. The shopkeeper recommends some best-selling picture books for the little ones. Once they get home, the twins are completely mind-gamed by the sea creatures in the stories. So, Takumi decides to take them on a coastal vacation to see the real deal. Before leaving, they say their goodbyes to their homies in town. Just as they're about to board their ride, a slave trader suddenly appears to block the vibe. He loudly claims the twins are his merchandise. Takumi takes one look and knows the sky is full of it. It's obvious this piece of trash threw the kids out as monster bait just to save his own skin. Even though slavery exists here, the kids don't have a single red flag or slave mark on them. So, Takumi decides to clap back. He waits for the patrol guards and tells the trader to show the receipts and prove they're his property. When the trader starts glitching and fails to identify the kids, Takumi gives him a kidnapping charge for his troubles. He pulls a few strings with the red-haired captain and has the guy sent to the lobby immediately. The captain also confirms the kids are Takumi's siblings just to lock in the legal protection. No one's calling them merchandise ever again. After the drama, the kids stay in a bit of a moody funk for the rest of the trip. To cheer them up, Takumi suggests taking a chill shortcut through the forest, calling out his divine beasts for protection. Any monster they meet on the road gets disconnected from life in a single frame. When the beasts try to lick the kids' faces, Takumi yells stop immediately. Their mouths are still covered in juice from the monsters they just clapped. He quickly uses a water shield to give them a car wash before allowing any skinship with the kids. This finally helps the twins get back to their good vibes only selves. That night, Takumi flexes his cooking skills, and everyone eats like it's their last meal. The next morning, they finally see the ocean. The twins are shook with excitement. While they're playing on the beach, Takumi spots a mermaid watching them from the waves. Turns out, she's an acquaintance sent by the water god to ask for a favor. The mermaid tribe is facing a server-wide crisis and needs a hero to save the net. Even though Takumi swims like a dry rock, the mermaids give him a swimming hack magic item to dive to the ocean floor. The twins adapt instantly, like they were born for this. Meanwhile, Takumi struggles for a bit before learning how to stroke the water like a pro. Following the mermaid to their village, they find out the major L they've been taking is caused by a shipwreck. The boat is blocking the main entrance to their coral farm. Even though the tribe tried to push the boat multiple times, they were totally helpless. Takumi just flips on his infinite storage feature. He yoinks the entire ship into his inventory in a single click, instantly deleting the tribe's worries. The mermaid is so moved she's almost tearing up. It turns out that Coral Field is a pharmaceutical goldmine for the tribe's unique medicines. Afterward, the mermaid princess herself comes out to greet them. She mentions she's heard of his legendary feats before. To pay him back, the tribe offers to coach all three of them in water magic. Under the guidance of a high-tier elder, Takumi finally learns how to control water like a boss. The twins, however, are straight-up crack learning every spell on the first try. Even the princess is stuck in a loading screen from shock. Skills that take normal people weeks to master are being speedrun by these toddlers in minutes. Truly a pair of ice-sky prodigies. Suddenly, the sea begins to churn and roar. A colossal monster appears before Takumi. He runs a vibe check and sees it's a ride-or-die subordinate of the water god. Leviathan not only speaks smooth human language but recognizes Takumi as Silphriel's guy immediately. As for the kids, Leviathan knows their stats. He calls them out as the true descendants of the water god. This is when Takumi's jaw drops. Turns out these kids are literal god-tier royalty. Sensing the connection, Leviathan decides to sign a contract with Takumi. He tells Takumi to name him Kaiser. Witnessing the wholesome bond between the dad and kids, Leviathan suddenly tries to claim custody. He argues his power would make him a much more reliable guardian. But the kids aren't having it. They cling to Takumi like superglue. Seeing this, Kaiser looks incredibly satisfied. He realizes trusting Takumi was the right move at the right time. Takumi realizes the whole thing was just a purity test by Leviathan. Afterward, Kaiser gives him a dragon scale so they can stay connected, then gives them a free ride part of the way. Reaching the underwater dungeon, the kids are itching to test their skills. Takumi decides to wipe everything up to the 10th floor to save a teleport point. Thanks to the kids' radar, the team stays on track like they have GPS. The first floor monsters are just some poison frogs. Takumi tells the kids to stay back and use ranged attacks. They try out Water Shield, and the second shot is a perfect hit. On the second floor, the kid's sharp eyes spot some glitchy spots on the wall. Takumi checks it out and finds a hidden room. He opens a treasure chest and finds nothing but fresh shrimp. He harvests the loot without a second thought. Later, they find even more chests filled with dried seafood. It's absolutely elite tier food. That night, they make a massive seafood hotpot, feast until they're full, and then log out for a deep sleep. The next morning, they clash with a giant clam. Takumi stops the kids before they rush in. He explains that if this thing gets hit, it releases a brain rot shockwave. You have to play hit and run from a distance. The kids use Water Shield to slap it once. And it's folded. Seeing his kids level up like they're hacking, Takumi does a vibe check on their status. The child of the water god info is clear as day, and their level is about to outrank their own dad. Finally, they reach the 10th floor. In the center is a pond with a bridge leading to a small island. It's got a major chill vibe. The two toddlers are running around the island like they own the place. Suddenly, a pack of swordfish jumps out, clearly looking to take a slice out of them. Takumi doesn't even break a sweat, popping a wind shield while the kids sync up with their water shields. They make the entire pack log out in a single beat. With the threat cleared, the exit portal spawns right on cue. That's when the kids sniff out a hidden chest underwater. Inside, they find a mermaid bracelet, a top-tier item that lets their pets dive alongside them. Using the floor 10 teleport, the squad heads back to the city near the dungeon entrance. Passing a grilled scallop stall, Takumi notices the seasoning is a bit mid. With the owner's blessing, he adds a touch of butter and his homemade soy sauce. The dish is instantly upgraded to god-tier status. The stall owner takes one bite and is absolutely shook by the flavor profile. The local crowd catches the scent and swarms the place, clearing out the entire stock in a single frame. Next, Takumi hits up the blacksmith to mod Kaiser's dragon scale into some high-end jewelry. The boss man takes one look at the material and realizes it's the real deal, calling out his most crack smith to handle the job. The smith suggests a necklace but says they need rare silver spider silk for a perfect match. Naturally, that item is currently out of stock everywhere. Takumi realizes that's the exact stuff Silfriel gave him for free, so he just yoinks it out of his bag. The smith is left glitching from shock at the sheer audacity of this man's inventory. Gear upgrade secured, Takumi heads to the temple for a date with Silfriel. He keeps it 100 and tells the god he knows the truth about the kid's background, but he isn't going to start a thread to expose him for hiding it. He's just curious about who the biological father is. Silfriel is stuck on a loading screen, not knowing how to explain that the water god is a total trash man who just spreads seeds and then ghosts his kids. Takumi figures as much the guy is clearly unreliable. But hey, that works out, now he can keep the kids by his side forever. Silfriel then drops some good news. Takumi has officially passed his probation and is now a certified divine servant. He expected some top-tier wind combat skills, but instead, he gets a buff in parenting and education. Looks like his constant dad mode has officially Tao-tung his skill tree. This is a blessing from the creator god, meaning another deity already placed a bid on his future. On top of that, the fire god sends over some certified thank you gifts. Apparently, Takumi's soy sauce promotion is trending so hard in this world that the god of cuisine had to pay the receipts. Along with a new contract beast, the fire god was supposed to grant him fire skills. Back at home, the delivery arrives: the blazing Lion King. Only problem, this guy doesn't talk, he's just an expert at leaving surprises all over the place. Plus, he keeps bringing home red flag items. Takumi is honestly speechless. The lion eventually drags in a vampire nun though who is so hungry her eyes are literally glitching green. One bite of Takumi's rice ball and she's back in the game. She introduces herself as an intel agent currently chasing some spicy noble drama. To pay the receipts for the save, she hands him 2 special potions. After a quick vibe check on the info, Takumi wants to fold from embarrassment. Turns out it's adult-only juice, definitely not for the kids. Later, Takumi hits the guild to check his card, and the receptionist's jaw hits the floor. He's been buffed to a rank and discovered a new underwater dungeon. The guy is a straight-up cracked superhero at this point. Takumi just shrugs and says the dungeon is basically in the backyard. The lion eventually drags in a vampire nun though who is so hungry her eyes are literally glitching green. One bite of Takumi's rice ball and she's back in the game. She introduces herself as an intel agent currently chasing some spicy noble drama. To pay the receipts for the save, she hands him 2 special potions. After a quick vibe check on the info, Takumi wants to fold from embarrassment. Turns out it's adult-only juice, definitely not for the kids. Later, Takumi hits the guild to check his card, and the receptionist's jaw hits the floor. He's been buffed to a rank and discovered a new underwater dungeon. The guy is a straight-up cracked superhero at this point. Takumi just shrugs and says the dungeon is basically in the backyard. The Lord is shook for a few seconds, wondering if his brother has developed some weird skill issues or tastes. He then explains he called Takumi in because of the underwater dungeon. In this world, finding a dungeon is like hitting the jackpot, attracting tourists to spend the bag and boosting the local economy. Even though Takumi wants to stay low-key, the rules say the discoverer gets a payout. After the Lord forces him to take the cash, he's invited to lunch. The Lord's restaurant is the definition of fancy and stiff. The lady and the Lord's son show up too. The 2 little kids meeting for the first time are just nuplum behind their parents, it's too cute. During the meal, the kids start demanding jelly. The Lord admits his family has never seen a dessert so mad in their lives. Takumi is a bit shook, not wanting to admit the raw materials come from slimes. Once they get addicted to the taste, he finally leaks the secret. Instead of being grossed out, the Lord goes full hype beast, demanding they build a 10-acre slime farm immediately. Talk about a rich guy move, he sees the bag in everything. Once they get back, the night squad is in a total drama spiral. The vice captain is salty as hell. Between the dungeon, the slime jelly, and the trending soy sauce, Takumi is the absolute spotlight of the region. At this rate, even the king is going to summon him. Better stay low-key while you still can, my guy. Out on the street, Takumi and the Lord are taking the kids for a walk with major family vibes. Seeing the Lord hold his son's hand, our 2 Nocti also want some of that wholesome energy. Takumi catches the vibe and immediately scoops up their hands. They pass a grilled scallop stall, and the owner recognizes the culinary idol instantly, offering him free eats with no line. Afterward, the Lord takes him to the city's biggest trade guild. Takumi looks at the logo on a shopping bag and is like, surprise much, it's a 1-to-1 match with the seal on the shipwreck under the sea. He decides to return the receipts to the owner. Everyone in the room is shook. Usually, in this world, finders keepers is the golden rule. So when Takumi says he wants to return the ship, the trade guild big shots are practically sobbing with joy. Especially since the cargo holds a mountain of priceless magic stones. Even if the ship is a wreck, those stones are still fresh. Getting this haul back is basically like hitting the jackpot after a massive loss. To verify the receipts of their gratitude, they let him pick whatever he wants. He spots some dark coffee beans, a total top-tier find. Brewing this up is a literal energy boost. Takumi is losing his mind with joy, he can finally drink coffee in another world. On top of that, he bags a whole mess of spices and seasonings. The locals just see these spices as herbal medicine, but Takumi's brain is already in master chef mode planning a curry. He sets up a pot right in the yard for some hype cooking. First, he sears the meat until it smells heavenly. He adds broth and veggies, then uses time magic to speed run the simmering process. The cracked curry dish is served. This meal has the Lord's son completely obsessed. The Lord himself is so shook that he tells his head chef to kneel and beg to be Takumi's apprentice. Too bad Takumi's goal is to be an adventurer, not a culinary star. After that, they pay another visit to the mermaid palace. The high priestess is totally glitching, thinking something was wrong with the gear she gave him. Turns out he just wants to buy more accessories, specifically bracelets for his entire squad of pets. The mermaids find the request hilarious, but they verify the receipts and grant it anyway. Fully geared up, Takumi teleports straight to the 10th floor of the underwater dungeon. Tang 11 is basically deep-sea diving territory, fully submerged. Luckily, the two kids lead the way so everything stays smooth. With his children carrying the team, they keep finding high-end items in secret rooms. They push toward the 11th floor, where the vibe suddenly gets chilly. Takumi quickly puts some hoodies on the kids to keep them warm. Who knew there'd be an ice bear underwater? That is some unreal logic. Each of the kids drops a water shield, scoring a successful double kill. The bear drops a designer pelt, perfect for making a fur coat. Next up is a bubble tortoise looking to start some drama, which is even more annoying. It blows bubbles to trap enemies, but those things explode on contact. Actually, it just uses them as a distraction to log out and run away. After a quick brainstorm, Takumi finds the counter. He yoinks all the bubbles into his inventory in a single beat. Then he pops a water shield, sending the tortoise folding on its back. The kids follow up with a knight's double kick to finish the set. After harvesting the loot, they head straight to the boss room. Inside is a beach with a resort vibe. Suddenly, a massive squid train hits the final boss. This thing is fast and has a cracked health regeneration buff. Every magic attack from the trio gets dodged or ignored. Even the pets have to get serious now. Takumi realizes that no matter how fast it heals, it can't survive a full wipe strategy. The whole team goes all in, finally making the squid explode into pieces. Once the boss is cooked, the room returns to normal. A swag chest appears in the corner, containing a greatsword called the Joyful Flame. Back at the Lord's Manor, the ride or die captain and his second in command are waiting. News of the new dungeon reached the big boss the king, and he summoned Takumi immediately. Meeting the king is cool with Takumi, and the kids agree too. But the news that they leave tomorrow morning leaves him a bit emotional. The kids just made friends with the Lord's son, so this farewell is a total tearjerker. The next morning, the two little ones stand face to face, sobbing because they don't want to say goodbye. Seeing his kids so wrecked, Takumi almost can't handle it. He plans to ask the Lord to watch them for a bit. He hides his pain, says goodbye, and walks away without looking back, fearing he'll glitch and stay. But right then,
Allen, Elena.
Just as they are about to hug it out, the contract beasts all spawn in. Every single one of them refuses to leave their little masters. This move has everyone stuck in a loading screen. Ultimately, the kids choose to follow Takumi, starting the journey toward the capital. Season 1 of a leisurely journey in another world logs out right here. Unlike other isekai that focus on the grind, this one is all about a chill dad with zero ambition to rule the world. Every skill point went into parenting and cooking. The family bond is incredibly wholesome, a fresh breath of air for the genre. The unreal part is that these two toddlers are the actual final bosses of power. They clap magic beasts like it's nothing. The combo of a normal dad and superhero kids creates some hilarious twists. The only L is that the kids' lore lacks a bit of depth, and the adventure plot is a bit mid. The culinary aspect isn't as top tier as isekai izakaya or restaurant to another world. Overall, it feels like a half-baked dish. The concept is fire, but the execution hasn't peaked yet, and the plot is a little bland. It proves that the parenting in another world trope has massive trending potential. But it also shows the flaws of low-budget, mass-produced productions. If you're a fan of isekai or just like cute kids, this is definitely worth the watch. But if you're looking for high-stakes drama or something to stress your brain, you should probably pivot to another series. Finally, thanks to the homies for the support. Catch you in the next drama.